Assalamu alaikum wasalam, peace be upon you. I'm here to talk about why did Prophet Muhammad, Sallallahu Alaihi, warn us against sleeping with the lights on at night. But before we start, don't forget to subscribe. Please like the video and share it with your family and friends. So without any delay, let's begin. So in this video, we are going to discuss one of the traditions or Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad, Sallallahu Alaihi, which is very important for Muslims to know. It is a tradition that many people do not know about or have forgotten, and the tradition is to sleep with the light off. This is something that has become normal for us to do, but we need to remind ourselves of the reasons why the Prophet, Sallallahu, asked us to do so. You might be thinking, well, it's obvious. If there's no electricity and we have candles or something else, then we should use it. But if there's no such thing, then what's the point of keeping the light on? Well, the answer lies in understanding the deeper message behind this sunnah. We need to look at the intentions and the wisdom of the Prophet, when he recommended this practice. When we understand the reasons, we will realize how important it is for us to follow this sunnah even today. So why did the Prophet Sallallahu ask us to sleep with the lights off? Let's explore this question by looking at the first reason, which is to protect yourself from evil. The first reason is actually mentioned in the Quran itself. In Surah Ankabut, verse 6, it says, "And stay in the night in it, for it is a great defense." When we look at this verse, we can see that staying in the night is a way to defend ourselves. The Prophet Muhammad, Sallallahu Alaihi, explained this further in a hadith where he said, "There is an hour in the night and it is better for a person not to be alone, and that is the last third of the night." Now, what exactly does this mean? What does it mean to be alone? Does it mean just being physically alone? Or does it also include being emotionally and spiritually vulnerable? The answer is both. Being alone can refer to both physical and emotional states. Physically, it means being without anyone else in the same place. But emotionally and spiritually, it can also mean being disconnected or indifferent towards everything around you, including yourself. For example, imagine someone who is surrounded by family and friends, but their mind is elsewhere, lost in their thoughts. They may be physically present but emotionally absent, vulnerable and disconnected. Therefore, the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi advised us to stay connected during the last third of the night, not only to avoid evil, but also to protect our inner selves. This can help us maintain our focus and be more productive throughout the day. So remember, brothers and sisters, the last third of the night is a crucial time for our spiritual well-being. Staying connected during this time can help us ward off evil and maintain our emotional and spiritual balance. Another reason why the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi asked his companions to sleep with the lights out was to encourage them to be self-sufficient and independent. The Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi wanted his companions to be prepared for all situations and not rely on others for their basic needs, including lighting. By sleeping in the dark, they would be able to adapt to different environments and circumstances without complaining or feeling overwhelmed. In a hadith, the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi said, "Whoever is self-sufficient, independent, shall have everything they need." This means that those who are self-sufficient and can take care of themselves will never truly feel deprived because they know that they can rely on their own abilities and resources. Sleeping in the dark is a simple example of this principle in action. When we learn to adapt to different situations and make the best of what we have available, we become more resilient and self-reliant. This quality is not only useful in times of hardship, but also in everyday life. It helps us to appreciate what we have and not take it for granted. So remember, brothers and sisters, striving to be self-sufficient and independent is a valuable lesson that can lead to greater contentment and resilience in life. If you're enjoying this video, please don't forget to like it and share it with your family and friends. Your support means everything to us and motivates us to keep bringing you more informative and inspiring videos. Let's move on to another reason for sleeping with the lights off. The Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi often emphasized the importance of being aware of Allah Almighty at all times, even in our sleep. He taught his companions to remember Allah before sleeping and to seek refuge in Him from evil. For example, the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi taught us the following dua to be said before sleep. O Allah, I have placed my trust in your words. I seek refuge in you from my evil deeds. This dua reminds us to acknowledge Allah's power and wisdom over our lives and to seek His protection from our own evil actions. By sleeping in the darkness, we are reminded of our own limitations and vulnerabilities, and we are more likely to turn to Allah for help and guidance. In a hadith, the Prophet Muhammad Sallam said, "When a person is in a state of darkness and turns to Allah seeking guidance, Allah guides him." This hadith teaches us that when we turn to Allah in our darkest moments, He will guide us and help us find the right path. So remember, brothers and sisters, while we sleep, we should always be mindful of Allah's presence and seek His help and guidance. May Allah Almighty grant us the strength and courage to follow this important Sunnah. So far, we have explored 3 important reasons why the Prophet Muhammad Sallam advised his companions to sleep with the lights off: protecting oneself from evil, being self-sufficient and independent, and always being mindful of Allah's presence. However, there is one more reason that we must consider, which is related to saving energy. In today's world, we often take energy for granted and waste it without realizing the importance of conserving it. However, the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu was very wise in recognizing the value of energy and its impact on our daily lives. He knew that every action requires energy, and therefore, we should strive to use it wisely and efficiently. In a hadith, the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu said, "Do not squander water, even if you perform your wudu beside a flowing river." This hadith teaches us to conserve water, even when it is readily available. Similarly, he advised his companions to save energy by using natural resources and avoiding wasteful practices. So remember, brothers and sisters, we have a responsibility to take care of the environment and to use energy wisely. By turning off the lights when we sleep, we are not only following the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu, but also taking an important step towards conserving energy and protecting the environment. May Allah Almighty bless us with the wisdom and understanding to follow the Prophet's teachings in our daily lives. In conclusion, brothers and sisters, the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu asked us to sleep with the lights off for several important reasons. Firstly, it helps us to protect ourselves from evil and maintain our spiritual balance. Secondly, it encourages us to be self-sufficient and independent. And thirdly, it reminds us to always be mindful of Allah's presence. Not only that, but it is also a way to conserve energy and protect the environment. By following this Sunnah, we are not only honoring the Prophet's teachings, but also benefiting ourselves and the world around us. So let us all strive to make this an integral part of our daily routine and teach it to our future generations. With that, I want to thank you for joining me in this video. If you liked the video, please don't forget to hit the like button and share it with your family and friends. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and join our growing community. Thank you once again, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.